Hello students, I welcome you all to Current Affair Lectures by AZAD ICS Academy. Today we will be seeing 5th December 2024 current affairs, right? And in yesterday's current affairs, I had also given you a question. I hope all of you have at least tried to find out what is the answer for the same, because we have discussed about that article in detail in yesterday's lecture. Today we will also find the answer for the same, right? This was regarding the banking law amendment bill that was passed recently, right? So the first statement is talking about the bill redefines the term fortnight and the purpose to maintain cash reserve by the bank to align with the calendar month. So this is correct statement, right? Because we have discussed this in detail yesterday, right? It also allows the directors of the central cooperative banks to serve simultaneously. See, this word simultaneously was not there yesterday, and multiple also was not there yesterday, right? So it is incorrect because you can see here the bill allows the directors of the central cooperative bank to serve on the board of the state cooperative where they are member and not multiple state cooperative. So if a person is a member, then he can serve as a director, not any simultaneously in any board, right? So that is the reason this statement becomes wrong. So the answer is only two, because the last statement, the bill empowers the banks to independently decide the remuneration for their auditors without requiring the consultation of RBI. This is correct. So this statement becomes wrong. So answer is only two. I hope all of you are able to find out the answers. This is the level of UPSC, how the questions are being asked in recent times. So I'll be trying to bring up all the different types and varieties of questions that UPSC is asking so that you're aware of what is the pattern and how you are supposed to prepare for the prelims, right? So in today's lecture, we are going to discuss three important articles. Out of three, two are being editorial, which will help in your answer writing practice as well, and very important topics. Let us first go into the first topic, that is packaged mineral water or drinking water now in high risk food category. Okay, so this is by FSSAI, that is by FASI. Now, what you have to understand here is that we have a regulatory authority, that is Food Safety and Standard Authority of India. This is now reclassifying the packaged drinking mineral water under high risk food category. So don't worry, we'll discuss in detail what is high food risk category and what is this particular authority also. We'll discuss about that in detail. But now let us see what is there in the news and why it is in the news. So they are trying to have put this mineral water in high risk food category, mandating annual third party food security audits. The move is to effectively immediate follow on order date November 29, 2024, and the central license holders in the category must now submit the annual inspection amid to mitigate potential health risk associated with packed water production. See, now I want you to understand one thing, okay? The reason why they are putting it in high risk is, now you should not get confused whether, like why this is there. The water that we're drinking, is it very harmful or something like that? It's nothing as such. So what you need to understand here is that we do not want any kind of issues with the drinking water, because the water needs to be very pure. So to have stringent or strict regulatory what you meant to say regulations, we are having this particular high risk food category. Don't feel that the water that you're going to drink is going to be bad or it is contaminated. We do not want that to happen, and that is the reason we are coming up with this thing. Okay, now let us see what is this high risk food first. So from this, we will discuss about this particular authority in detail. That's a different story. But now let us understand what is this high risk food. See, high risk food are those food that pose a higher risk of food poisoning due to contamination. So if you have kept it for a longer period of time, any food material, after you keep it for a longer period of time, if there is food poisoning due to contamination or poor storage or poor handling, they require close and regular inspections. So it could be sauce, jam, that we are keeping it for a longer period of time. It should not get contaminated or should not get poisoned. So such kind of food materials which can become, contaminated due to poor storage or poor handling, they will require a close and a regular inspection. Moreover, they also need to follow a stricter norms of safety to be considered for safe consumption. So for the safe consumption, what we're trying to do here is we're trying to make these foods high risk food so that they are strictly observed. The regulation on this particular food is very high, and we are making it safe for the people to consume. So that is the reason we are putting water also, because a lot of people now consume water, and it is very, very important that this water is not contaminated. It is not contaminated due to poor storage or poor handling, right? So why packed mineral water is classified as high risk? See, the first important thing is potential for contamination. See, as we all know, water is what universal. We call it as universal solvent. So that means what it says here is it can easily dissolve and carry various contaminants, right? It could be including pathogens, chemical pollutants, heavy metals, so which pose risk to human beings. It will dissolve a lot of things. It can dissolve any chemicals, right? Chemicals can be dissolved because it's a universal solvent. And because of this, property of water, that it can dissolve a lot of things, it can cause risk to human beings, right? Right? So because of this risk, this particular thing needs to be controlled or regulated properly. Apart from this, what we need to understand here is the packing process itself can be introduced contamination if not properly managed. So including microbial contamination or inadequate sanitation practices. So what happens here is, because when you're packing this particular water bottle, and at that point of time also contamination can happen. So because of this, what we need to understand here is that there is a high risk of contamination, and that is the reason we are putting this water into high risk food category. Apart from this, we need to understand widespread consumption. See, packed mineral water is widely consumed across diverse demographics. Means all the people all over the places are consuming. See, I'll tell you examples of my own self. If I'm going to eat pani puri somewhere, and if I haven't carried a water bottle, and if I want to feel like drinking water, instead of drinking the water that is kept in the pani puri, stall, what I would do here is I would go to other person and ask him for a water bottle, irrespective of whichever that brand is. So a lot of people are consuming, right? And including vulnerable populations such as children, pregnant women, elderly, all of them are basically consuming this. So it is often considered to be healthy other than the regular tap water, because I am not going to a regular tap water. I'm not using this and taking this particular, mineral drinking water as a healthier version or healthier part. So I need to make sure that this is properly regulated, right? So apart from this, we need to understand the regulatory compliance. As a high risk category, packed mineral water must adhere to stringent quality. So the quality should be very good, very good quality water should be there. Because of this particular, putting this in high risk will make the regulations very strict, right? And safety standards should be met. Whatever safety standards is being told, and that should be met by this particular water bottle, then only this will be passed, right? This includes regular testing of parameters, ensuring the water is free from harmful substances. So all these things are basically done. So this is the reason why this is put to high risk, not because water that you're drinking is contaminated or something. No, to make sure the water that you will be drinking in the future is good. So that is the reason we are kind of, having this high risk food category for now. Now let us see why and what is the reason why do we have this. See, reclassification as a high risk. Packed drinking water and mineral water has been classified as high risk food category. This classification necessitates stringent regulatory measures to ensure consumer safety. So the reason why we are doing here is, what is the background of the news is that the water is now put into high risk, so that there is a strict regulation that needs to be followed. Regulatory measures should ensure that there is consumer safety. So basically, we are trying to do this so that there is consumer safety. Right? Now we also have to understand that there is a mandatory annual third-party audits. So there is a third-party audit also that is there. So what you need to understand is the businesses in this sector are now required to undergo. So whoever are, doing this particular business of mineral water, whoever businesses are there, now they have to undergo annual inspections. This annual inspections will be conducted by whom? It will be conducted by this particular authority, and they will recognize a third party. They will recognize what? They'll recognize a third party food safety audit agency, and they have to get approval from them. So this particular audit will happen. It will be another person who is going to do the audit, and they will be giving you a result without any bias, right? So this step is intended to mitigate potential health risk associated with production, distribution, and any kind of beverages. And apart from this, what we're trying to do here is we are also having regulatory amendments. So this is something that we need to understand, that the move follows amendments so that these amendments are required for the mandatory, or these requirements are basically done on the mandatory things of Bureau of Indian Standards. So it's also called as BIS. So certificate for certain products, including packages, water or packed water, which is now counterbalanced by the high risk classification and annual audits. So what we are trying to do here is we are making sure that these, whatever amendments are there will be regular amendments so that the water that is being consumed is better. Now these are also made sure that these amendments remove the requirement of, means whatever requirement is there of Bureau of Indian Standards, they're removing it. So that this certificate is basically for certain packed foods or water or any kind of items which is packed. For such kind of things, this is there, and which is now counterbalancing, because we are trying to counterbalance this particular thing. So by introducing it as high risk food, what we're trying to do is we're trying to counterbalance this. Now, implication, what will happen to the food business by doing this? First important thing that we need to understand is enhanced oversight. Food business operation dealing with non-alcoholic soft beverages, okay, that is packed drinking water, mineral water, will now be subjected to more rigorous. So what will happen is there will be more rigorous oversight. This will include a lot of mandatory inspections, okay, audits, so that there is safety standards. So there will be mandatory inspections, the audits will be done properly and everything. Okay. Apart from this, we are trying to do consumer protection. This reclassification and mandatory audits aims to strengthen the consumer protection by maintaining strict quality control. So we are trying to have what? We are trying to have a very strict quality control so that whatever consumers' interest is, that is being protected, right? Apart from this, we're also trying to have operational impact. Business will need to allocate resources for compliance with the new auditing requirement. This could involve adjustment in operational process, quality control measures, and potential increased cost related to compliance. So whatever compliance are there, all that have to be in sync now. So what you have to understand here is that there will be have to do some kind of adjustments. What are the adjustments that they have to do? They need to make sure that the quality control measures are there, right? So for that, they need to have a different set of people now. Maybe they'll have to increase their potentially the cost will get increased, etc. Now we're also focusing on what? Safety. This emphasis on regular inspections and auditing highlights the importance of safety. So we need to understand there is a lot of emphasis that is given to the safety for all the high risk food category. This is particularly important for products that have high potential of contamination, including water and certain nutritional uses, right? Apart from this broader regulatory environment, we need to understand that the high risk food category here, the list of high risk food categories already include items such as animal products, okay, food with specific nutritional value. These categories are subjected to very stringent or very strict safety measures due to their high susceptibility to contamination. Apart from this, we also have to understand about the role of online platform. So the authority is also directing online platform to ensure that the food items deliver have to be minimum 45 days shelf life. See, because whatever that has been delivered online, like for example, if I am in one place, if I want a sweet from another place, I can order it over Amazon. But whatever that is being delivered in Amazon or Big Basket or Flipkart, grocery or whatever it is, the shelf life, I mean, the shelf life means the maximum time that you can save it for. Okay, for example, if I've made rice today, the shelf life of this rice is just 1 day. That is, I may not be able to consume it by after 24 hours. It will be contaminated afterwards, right? So shelf life is the minimum life that you can consume it, or the time period within which you can consume that particular food item. So we need to understand that for online stuff, what you need to do here is the shelf life should be only what? 45 days. This is what is being told by the authority. Okay. Reflecting all our strategy to enhance the food safety across the distribution channel. So we are also shifting from BIS certificate. I told you that BIS certificate, we do not want to come up with this BIS certificate. So instead of just, following this BIS certificate, we are coming with what? High risk, food category. So what we're trying to do here is, with the removal of mandatory BIS certification from certain product, the approach emphasis on direct oversight. So we are not coming up with another certificate now. We will not have another organization to, give this certificate. We just want to remove this, and directly the authority, that is PASI itself, will directly have this strict rules and regulations over a certain food items. We do not want to, again come up with this certificate and do it. So now what we're doing is we are removing this certificate for the certain product. So the approach is emphasizing on direct oversight and regular audit to maintain quality standards. Ensure that the safety is not compromised at all. So what are we trying to do here is we are trying to make sure that the safety is not at all compromised. So what we are trying to do is whatever is coming in hurdle, we are trying to remove all of that, right? Apart from this, what are the challenges that we can have? Now, compliance cost. See, I already told you in the beginning that there will be third party auditing. Now, if the third party is coming up into picture, we have to pay something to this third party. Yes or no? If we are trying to pay something to this third party, see, the requirement of annual third party audit would increase operational cost of business, particularly small and medium enterprise, which may now need to which may need support to meet these new standards. So what happens here is, automatically, if the cost of the business is increasing, the cost of that particular product will also increase. So this is compliance cost. This is one of the important challenges that we have to understand. Apart from this, consistency in auditing. Now, ensuring consistency and effectivity in third-party audits will be crucial. The FASI will need to establish clear guidance. So what will happen is, it will have to establish a clear guidance and standards for auditing agencies, right? ಹಾ ಬ್ರೋ ಹೇಳು. ಇಲ್ಲ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ, ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಮಾಡತ್ತೀನಿ, ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡೇನು ಹೇಳು ಏನಾದ್ರು. ಏನು HDFC ದವ್ರ ಏನು ಆಫರ್ ಲೆಟರ್ ಕಳ್ಸಾರು? ಓಕೆ, ಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕಳ್ಸೋದು ಹೆಂಗ್ ಮಾಡೋದು? ಓಕೆ, ನಾ ಇದು ಮುಗಿತೈತಿ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು 10-15 ನಿಮಿಷ ಮುಗಿಸ್ಕೊಡ್ಲೇ ಓದ್ತೀನಿ ತಗೋ. ಓಕೆ. Okay, and the third and the last point that you need to understand is adaptation for the business. Food business operators will need to adapt quickly. So what is the consideration? These are the challenges that will be faced. So what is the consideration that we need to understand? It is that the food business people who are involved in the production of this particular mineral water or something, they have to get adapted easily. So what we need to understand here is that they will have to adapt quickly to these regulatory changes, possibly require investment in training infrastructure and technology to meet the new requirements. So these are the new requirements. To meet all the requirements, what they need to do is they have to have a proper training, etc. Right? So this is some of the considerations that they have to do with respect to, following all the rules and regulations. So apart from this, we'll understand about this particular organization a little more in detail, that is Food Security and Standard Authority of India. It is going to play a very crucial role in ensuring that the food security and quality across the country. It's not just one place or two places. Across the country, all the food that is being, produced through market or through any other means is actually good. This is what this particular authority is trying to do. It was established under Food Security and Standards Act of 2006. Okay, and here this is aiming to protect and promote public health by regulating and supervising the food safety. So it makes sure that the food that is being consumed by the public is good enough, right? Apart from this, we need to understand it is an autonomous statutory body. It was established as autonomous statutory body under the Food Security and Standards Act of 2006. This act consolidates various older laws, okay, and single preference or reference point. The creation of this particular FASI marked a shift from multi-level, multi-departmental control to streamline or single line of command for all food safety and regulatory or standard matters. Now, which ministry is overseeing this? It is the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Okay. And headquarters is basically located in Delhi, and there are zonal offices as well. The leadership, the chairperson and the chief executive is appointed by the central government. So this is some information. Now, what are the functions of this particular thing that we need to understand? See, the functions are regulatory or regulations and standards. So is responsible. This particular organization is responsible for framing all the rules and regulations that is there or to set the standards for food products. What kind of additives will be added, whether these additives are safe and whether the quality is getting compromised. Giving license and registration. See, if I want to have any business that is related to food, for example, Haldiram. Now you know the story of Haldiram that when he was selling these, small things on, what do you mean to say, on roadside or somewhere, and later over a period of time, now it is built into a big industry, right? So now how is that possible? So he has to get some license, he has to do some registration. So a grant of license and registrations to food business, which is essentially to maintain the standardized level for food security compliance across the industry. So whatever registrations, licenses are there are being done by this. And we also have to understand about the enforcement. So it enforces food safety laws and regulations, ensuring that the business will adhere to the established laws. Monitoring and surveillance. It's not just that it will give you license. After the license is given to you, they will do monitoring also. So the authority conducts monitoring and surveillance activities to assess the food safety. Apart from this, risk assessment and research, conducting scientific researches like how long the food can be, kept, etc. All that research and risk assessment is also done by the same organization. Training and awareness. It provides training and raises awareness about the food safety and hygiene, aiming to educate both industry as well as the stakeholders and even the public, right? Apart from this, promotion of fortification and organic food. So whatever organic food is there or fortified food is there, we'll discuss about fortified food more in detail when we are discussing any topic that is related to agriculture. So let us not go into details of it. Now let us understand what is organic food and fortification. It also promotes food fortification and the use of organic food to improve the nutritional quality and ensure customer safety. Coordination and collaboration. So what it is trying to do here is it will coordinate with different agencies, stakeholders to ensure that there is, comprehensive approach for food safety. Right. So this is something that is important here. And in the summary, I would like to just, conclude this by saying that this reclassification of packed mineral drinking water as a high risk food category along with mandatory audit underscores a robust approach of ensuring food safety. Means it's a very good approach of ensuring. This move is designed to protect the consumer and maintain high standards of food. So this is really a very good move, you can say, when it comes to food safety. This is about the first article. The second important thing that we need to understand here is how we are trying to, or how India is strategically focusing on West Africa. Now, why this West Africa and why this is of importance? See, I will not read the entire editorial because whatever is there or whatever important topics are there in the editorial, I am going to mention the same over here, right? So that it is in sync. Now, we need to understand that the Prime Minister Narendra Modi's recent visit to Nigeria highlights India's strategic focus on West Africa. Now, what is it trying to tell us? It is reinforcing its ties with the region of largest economy and democracy. That is, Nigeria is having a highest or largest economy and democracy in Africa. This visit is crucial against the backdrop of China's increasing influence in Africa. So we need to understand that China is showing a lot of interest in Africa, and we really have to make sure that we are having strong ties with African countries. So to ensure that India is also trying to do the same thing, and recently even Prime Minister has visited Nigeria. Now we are going to understand the significance of this visit, what is exactly signifying. So and how are we going to, build relations? What is the reason that our Prime Minister has visited that particular place? How is it going to help us? We'll see all of that in this lecture now. The first important thing is significance of this particular visit. Now, historic engagement. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Nigeria is the first by an Indian Prime Minister in 17 years. Means in 17 years, it is Prime Minister who has visited Nigeria, underscoring the importance of India plays on its relationship with Nigeria and Africa in general. So what it is trying to tell us here is that because our Prime Minister is visiting, it is trying to tell that we are interested. We're interested to keep ties with Africa and Nigeria. So this is something that we need to understand. This visit is also coinciding with the Modi's journey to Brazil for G20 summit. So when during the journey to Brazil itself for the G20, it is indicating that Nigeria's strategic importance. So it is telling that it is very important for India's foreign policy. Now, apart from this recognition and honor, when our Prime Minister visited Nigeria, what did he get? Or what did the Prime Minister get? So Nigerian President Bolo Ahmed Tinbu welcomed Modi at Abuj airport and awarded him as a Grand Commander of Order. Okay, so this is Grand Commander Order. This is a kind of a felicitation that Nigerian president did to India because see, it reflects the significance of Nigeria's attachment to this particular relationship with India. And this award is given to Narendra Modi ji is the second award. Okay, the first award was given to Queen Elizabeth II. Okay, before this. This is not of importance, but this is of importance that the second person who is getting this award is our Honorable Prime Minister. So this is something that we need to remember, right? Apart from this, let us now understand India-Nigeria relation. So how is the India-Nigeria relation and Nigeria's role in Africa? First thing that we need to understand is as Africa's. So Nigeria is Africa's largest economy and democracy. This is something that is of importance. Sometimes, words like largest, highest seem to be wrong. It's not like that. Sometimes these kind of things or facts are correct. These are some of the tricks that were being told, by some of the people that, whenever you're getting words like largest, something like that, you can straight away make sure that the statement is wrong when it comes to prelims. But it's not like that. Africa's largest economy and democracy is Nigeria. So this is something that we need to understand. As Africa's largest economy and democracy, Nigeria is a regional powerhouse. So when it comes to West Africa, Nigeria is kind of a powerhouse. This is something that we need to understand, right? So it's a powerhouse in West Africa and plays an important role in African Union. So this will help us strengthen our India-Africa relations also. So this is something that we need to understand here. Strengthened ties with Nigeria can have a broader implication for India's engagement with Africa due to Nigeria's leadership and influence across the continent. So obviously, because it is the largest economy in democracy, it will have a higher implication or higher, what you mean to say, perspective when it comes to Africa. And good ties with Nigeria will make sure that our relation with Africa will also be better. Now, strengthening ties with Nigeria can have a broader implications for India's engagement with Africa due to Nigeria's leadership. Apart from this, we'll also see strategic cooperation. The visit highlighted key areas of cooperation. So where are we trying to, have cooperation in? So this includes defense. We are trying to have some kind of, cooperation with defense, with energy also, and with technology. And then we're also having some kind of collaboration with trade, health, and education. So these are some of the areas where we are trying to have strategic collaborations with. Also, we are making sure that there is security concerns such as terrorism, piracy, drug trafficking, are central bilateral discussions with India, aiding Nigeria to counter terrorism efforts. So we are also trying to make sure that we are doing a counter terrorism efforts against a group like Boko Haram. So there are some groups that are there and we are trying to do counter terrorism with these kind of things with the help of this strategic cooperation. Now, apart from this, we also have some other kind of things like we have defense ties are reinforced by Nigeria's interest on purchasing Indian arms and earlier visit by Indian defense industry delegation as Lagos. So it is also trying to show some kind of defense ties also here. In the strategic cooperation, Nigeria is trying to or willing to show some interest in buying some Indian arms. So this is some kind of defense collaboration that we also have. Apart from this, developmental partnership. So India can give some concessional loans and capacity building. So what is this concessional loans? So we need to understand that concessional financing will provide companies with the access to capital at favorable terms. Means whatever is favorable to Nigeria, at that terms, India will try to give loan. Okay, this could include low rate of interest, maybe longer repayment periods or more flexible terms, making it easy for the large business or fund more initiatives. So if there are any initiatives in Nigeria, that time India can give a concessional loan. So that loan can be of favorable terms to Nigeria basically. So here you need to understand that India has extended around 100, not 100 millions of concessional loans to Nigeria, coupled with capacity building training programs, etc. So we're not just giving concessional loans. This is proper number is dollars, $100 million of concessional loans are being offered by India to Nigeria. Okay. So, and we're also trying to make sure that there is capacity building programs like training programs. This partnership is articulated through India's way, emphasizing developmental assistance that aligns with Nigeria's needs and priorities. So, we are trying to make sure that we are going to keep all the priorities of Nigeria and do this kind of development as well. The next important thing that we need to understand is Nigeria's ties with China. Now we have to see, we are trying to tell that, okay, there are some relation between China and Nigeria. And that is the reason, or China and Africa, and that is the reason we also want to make our, what you mean to say, presence there. So, but we'll see how China is dominating and how it has presence is there. Over 200 Chinese companies operate in Nigeria, making it China's largest export market in Africa. So you can see that a lot of dependence is there. Over 200 Chinese companies are there in Nigeria. China's funded infrastructure projects in Nigeria amount to $47 billion, with loan totaling up to 3.121 billion, consisting of 11.28% of rate of interest. Okay, that is, it is external debt that Nigeria have right now because of the Chinese funding. I already told you about this, or we will discuss more in detail how China is trying to do neocolonialism. It is trying to do this, that go fund all the poor countries, and when they are not able to give you back the debt, that is when that is when China will kind of overpower them. Right? Example that we have is that China funded an important port in Sri Lanka, that is Hambantota port, and now that port is with China because Sri Lanka was not able to pay the debt. So similarly, these are infrastructural projects that are already present in China. Companies like Hawaii have significantly expanded their footprints, training households in telecommunication and technology as well. So these are some of the things that are there or present in Nigeria's ties with China. Okay, now challenges and opportunities that we have. Economic competition. Despite of China's substantial presence, India maintains strong diplomatic ties with with Nigeria. However, bilateral trade has decreased. So we need to understand that the bilateral trade that was there has decreased from $14.95 billion in, this was in 2021 to 2022, to $7.89 billion in 2023, 2024. You can see that even though we are having competition with China, still we have maintained some strong diplomatic ties with Nigeria. So even though our bilateral ties have been decreased, okay, partly due to India's increased oil imports from Russia, because we are trying to import a lot of oil from Russia, import oil from Russia, because of this particular tie, that is bilateral tie that we have with Nigeria, is kind of reduced, but that is not a reason. We're also trying to have some kind of collaborative. This is one of the challenges that we are facing, that our bilateral ties with Nigeria has got reduced because we are focusing more on import of oil from Russia. This is one of the challenges that we have. And apart from this, we also need to understand collaborative leadership. Both India and China continue to collaborate as a leader for a global south, advocating and sharing goals in international forum. So we need to understand that we have some kind of opportunities here. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Nigeria underscores country's significance. It highlights the need of sustainable efforts to convert diplomatic goodwills into tangible outcomes. So to navigate the challenges posed by economic competition with China and capitalizing opportunities for collaboration, India must focus on what should India do. This is very important. See, the visit is good. We are trying to show that interest. That is all good, but what is that we need to do is that India must focus on strategic partnership, okay, development assistance, and leverage its strength in key sectors. So we need to make sure that we are having a very good sectors, or we are having some good hold on key sectors like defense, technology, etc. So as I already told you that Nigeria is willing to take arms from India. So this is somewhere where defense will play a very important role, and the technology will also play an important role. The next and important article or editorial that we're going to discuss is cash transfer scheme for women as a new poll plan. So we need to understand what is this cash transfer scheme, right? Apart from this, we need to see that there are different states that are giving some cash transfer schemes to women, and why are they doing this? How is it going to impact the social welfare? We are going to discuss about the same in this particular, editorial. Again, I will not be reading this. This is available. You can pause it and read it for once. So whatever is there in the same thing, I will be explaining in the PPTs as well, so that I can reduce the efforts of you and your time is not getting wasted much, right? Whatever I'll be teaching you in the PPT will make it more easier for you. Instead of reading unwanted, unnecessary things, I'll be including all the important highlighted points over here. Okay, so first let us understand what is given in the first paragraph. The cash transfer scheme is targeting women have been very predominant feature, means it has become a very prominent feature, especially in political campaigns across several Indias. So for example, in Karnataka also, every women household will get 2000 rupees. This is called Graha Lakshmi scheme, right? So this is just one example. Now this is reflecting both increasing influence in women voters. So we need to understand that over a period of time, the number of women who are going to vote is increasing. That is the reason we have this, direct benefit transfer and effectiveness of direct benefit transfer in delivering women welfare benefits. However, these schemes also raise concern about a long-term sustainability and impacting the systematic issues. See, I'll tell you what has happened here is a lot of women are getting these 2000 rupees. People who are before very, like working, very enthusiastic. Now, because they're getting this 2000 rupees, some of them are not willing to work also. There are some side effects of this direct benefit transfer. But apart from that, we are also aiming to have, social welfare, right? And another important issue is that it is not sustainable for a longer period of time. Anyways, we'll see what is this exactly and how is it happening. Now, what is this thing or why is it a news? So recent developments that we have to understand is the Maharashtra and Jharkhand assembly elections, cash transfer schemes, especially for women, such as in Maharashtra, we have Mukhyamantri Maji Ladki Bahan Yojana, right? So this is according to Maharashtra, what they are going to do here is they are going to pay 1500 per month, okay, to women. Similarly, you have in Jharkhand, Mukhyamantri Mai Samman Yojana. And here we are paying 1000 rupees per month that have, been very important campaigning strategy, right? When Karnataka's elections were happening, they said that electricity will be free, bus will be made free for women. And all of this is implemented. I'm not saying it is not implemented, but we also need to check how is it going to influence, from where are they going to get money to, make bus free for women? How are they going to get money to give electricity free? How are they going to get money to, give that 2000 rupees for every household women? And if there are two women who will get this money, who will not get this money, there's a lot of confusion and chaos that is still existing, right? And over a period of time, you can also see that these schemes will not be able to run for a longer period of time because they will not be able to accompany all of us. These programs are a part of larger trend with 14 Indian states implementing similar schemes. So I am not, see, these are examples of two. I have also added one more example of Karnataka, right? But you need to understand that there are 14 Indian states who are implementing similar schemes, collectively covering somewhere around 20% of the adult female population. So means 20% of the adult female population are getting some or the other, direct benefit transfer, right? Now, what we need to understand is why this cash, you know, uh, transfer scheme is gaining popularity. Obviously, increased women influence, political influence. Women voters turnout has significantly increased. So here you need to understand that people, women, especially women who would vote in 1962 was 47% of the women would vote. But now in 2023 or in 2024, you can see that 66% of the women will go to vote. Now you can see that the women have increased from 1962 to 2024. So the number of people or number of women who are used to vote have been increased. So that is the reason, they are trying to get the votes of the women by giving such kind of schemes. This is one of the reasons. Women are increasingly voting independently, forming a significant vote block or vote women constituency that political party aim to attract. Now we have to understand that recent political moves such as swift passage to women reservation bill highlight the focus on Nari Shakti. So all these things, Nari Shakti and women focus, all these things are basically, making it more that people are giving such kind of benefits to women. Now, efficiency through direct benefit transfer. See, direct benefit transfer system eliminates middleman. So there is no middleman here, right? It is directly, I mean, the government is directly giving it to the women. So there is reduction in corruption and leakages in welfare delivery, ensuring that the benefits reach the intended recipients. And this technology-driven approach creates direct link between the government and the citizens. So because of this direct benefit transfer, what's happening here is whoever was there in the middleman, first it used to be like it used to be given to IAS officers or the administrative officers, and they used to go and give it to people. Now it's not like that. Directly, whoever have a Aadhaar link, and if you show that you are not having or you are meeting the criteria, directly the money will be coming into your account. If you just have to go submit the form that is given, if you just do that, what will happen is the money will directly come into your bank account. And this is something that women are kind of liking it, that they are independent enough. Okay. Now, apart from this, this techno model reflects the use of technology and strengthens governance and political support, right? Quick results and political message. So here you can see that cash transfer provides immediate financial relief, offering faster and visible demonstration of governance effectiveness compared to long-term infrastructure projects like school, hospital, etc. Now you see, if I give you 2,000 rupees, it's like giving a chocolate so that the baby stops crying. So what happens here is the government is giving you 2,000 rupees, so that will be more important, because now they build a school that will take a long period of time. They want to build hospital that will also take a long period of time. So for all those things can be delayed, and if we are giving you 2,000 rupees, that becomes a relief for you. So quick result and political message, that is the reason why this cash transfer scheme is getting more popular, right? But now we have to also see wider issues. What are the issues that we have, okay, when it comes to these kind of things? So prevalence in similar schemes, the wider adaptation of cash. So a transfer benefit across the state suggests a lack of innovative approaches in welfare policy scheme. Means what is happening is, if you're just giving money, what is the innovation that you're trying to do? How are you not using money and getting attention of the people? So it lacks innovation. Opposition party adopting direct benefit transfer schemes indicate the ruling party influencing and setting welfare norms. So opposition team is trying to do this, and whatever welfare schemes the other party is doing, that will be kind of suppressed, and welfare will somewhere get affected because of this kind of direct benefit transfer. Okay, focus on efficiency. While efficient, these schemes often prioritize immediate relief over long-term capacity building. As I already told you, instead of focusing more on hospital building, school building, what are we trying to do? We are trying to give you a small chocolate, that is money. So whenever you get money, you are not worried about what is the other welfare that is going to happen to you, right? So this is one of the important thing that we need to understand over here. Now, what is the criticism that we have from this particular direct benefit transfer? See, direct benefit transfer is nothing but, if I am, coming under below poverty line, I can just go and register myself. And if I don't have any income source, I can just put that I don't have any income source, provide some, income certificate or something like that. And then what will happen is, I have to just enter my Aadhaar details. Whatever bank is linked, now you see that the banks are linked to Aadhaar and PAN cards, right? So whichever bank is linked to Aadhaar card, to that particular bank account, I'll be getting some money. So like Maharashtra, say, government is giving us 1,500 rupees per month, and 1,000 rupees given by Jharkhand, and Karnataka is giving 2,000 rupees as well. So these are direct, benefit transfer, you can say. Now there are a lot of criticism. Limited impact on structural issues. See, according to direct benefit transfers, what happens is address immediate financial needs, but they do not solve the fundamental problems such as healthcare, education, infrastructure. I already told this. Exclusive error means, or exclusion errors. Beneficiaries might be excluded due to some glitches or low digital literacy. I'll tell you, there are so many women are still not aware of these many schemes. Do you think that everybody will sit in front of the TV? Maybe because I or you or people are preparing for UPSC, we are aware of this. Okay, the scheme. We can criticize this. What about the person who is there, who is working in somebody else's house, who do not have television, who do not have any source? You cannot say that they have a lot of technological means. Maybe some people are aware, maybe some people are not aware, some people may be excluded. So all these things and all these issues are already there. Apart from this, dependency risk. Regular cash transfer could create dependency, potential reduction in incentive of self-reliance and economic independence. I already gave you an example in the beginning itself, that the house worker woman who would come to clean our house is now not ready to come, because she says that the government is already giving me 2,000 rupees. Now why do I come to your house and work? So automatically what happens is, her dependence risk, she will start depending on this particular scheme a lot, and she will stop being self-reliant, shift to privatization. Okay, so over reliance on direct transfer may encourage the use of private sectors instead of improving public service systems, affecting long-term public welfare sustainability. So over a period of time, this is somehow going to affect our, welfare sustainability. So these are some of the criticisms that we have. Now, apart from this, what I would like to conclude, okay, this cash transfer schemes, they are significant trend in welfare policy, reflecting shift towards immediate cash relief. So what we are trying to do here is we are trying to give immediate financial benefit. But instead of that, what we need to understand here is these schemes, instead of giving such kind of direct benefit or transfer, what we need to do is we need to make sure that India's welfare policies are okay, such as critical implication of equality or equity, governance, balance between the state and the private sectors. So sustained efforts need to be addressed so that we are trying to ensure that the welfare policies foster long-term development and self-reliance among the beneficiaries. People should not depend here. So what is our way forward here? So whatever money that you're investing in giving these 2,000 rupees to different people, we can include that in, social welfare, where what we're trying to do is we're not just benefiting the women, we're benefiting the children, women, everyone. It could be providing them healthcare facilities, it could be providing them good food, it could be, providing them some other facilities like schools, infrastructure, etc., sanitation, and all of that. So instead of just giving them 2,000 rupees and, giving them a small chocolate and just making them shut their mouth, what we need to do here is maybe we can make sure or give that assurance that we will do better in infrastructure and social development. So this is something that India should focus and not on, just giving a small amount to each women every, month and making them keep quiet, right? Now let us take up few questions. They are very easy questions. Which of the following best describes the significance of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Nigeria in context to India's strategic focus on West Africa? So what is the major thing that we are trying to do, right? So I do not want you to focus on something which is very common. We have separately discussed one topic. So see which is that topic, right? And try to answer this question. Apart from this, try to also answer this question. This is very simple. What are the major criticisms of cash transfer schemes like those in Maharashtra and in Jharkhand? What are those criticisms? Try to mention those criticisms also here. Which one of them is correct, right? So I've kept this question answers easy so that you try to attempt them. Try to put your answers in the comment box. And if you have any suggestions, if you feel the class is very fast or class is very slow, or if you feel that, it's covering less amount of topic or something like that. See, my aim is to cover minimum topics with maximum information. If I am just covering overview above everything, it is not going to help you. If you are even a beginner, okay, still you will be able to understand because I am going to go into details of each and every topic. Maybe the words that are not, you may not be able to understand. I'll try to explain those also. My only thing is that I want to explain more with less number of topics because some of the topics will be covering again and again. So such kind of topics I've ignored, and some topics which may not come in the future, I have included such kind of topics, right? So I'll be coming up every day with 3 or 4 topics, or at least minimum 3 topics every single day. So at least some of your current affairs is anyways count, right? I will see you in the next class. Thank you everyone for your patience. Please comment your answers in the comment section, and also please put in your feedbacks. Your feedbacks are very valuable. I will try to implement all your feedbacks. Thank you so much and have a good day.